Welcome in. It's Friday. I wanted to get on here and kind of talk about the weekend, talk about our thoughts on alcohol, if we're sober, if we're wanting to get sober, our struggles, just whatever you want to chat about today. Um, my name's Josh, living life alcohol free. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a subscriber, you're a member, thank you so much for joining in and welcome back. And so today I'm going to be making a video about the lies of alcohol, the lies we tell ourselves of alcohol, the things that we think are true when we're drinking, but actually aren't exactly true. Maybe they're true to a degree, but for the most part, they're fallacies. So one of the things is, do we sleep better? Like, I'll help you sleep better. You hear that voice in your head about alcohol, it's going to help you sleep better. Is that a reality? Maybe. I mean, maybe you do get to sleep. Maybe you get to sleep quicker than you normally would if you were drinking. But then we wake up with those 3 o'clock panics, those anxieties, those thoughts, those ruminations about what you did, what we did yesterday, what we did the day before, and we're just filled with anxiety, and maybe we have an upset stomach, maybe we have a headache, nausea, all this stuff. So does that really help our sleep? uh Not really. I mean, maybe for 5 6 hours, but then we're, like I said, we're waking up and we're feeling like crud. So we start our day that way. Maybe we can get back to sleep, maybe sleep for an hour or two, and then we get up and start our day, and we don't feel rested. I mean, I never felt rested when I would drink. I was always on high alert, to drink alcohol. That was really all that was on my mind. And so we get to that point where we're like, we're questioning, uh, is alcohol really helping me sleep? Another thing we tell ourselves, or alcohol tries to whisper to us. It tries to say, "I'll make your life interesting. I'll make your life more full. I'll give you everything you always wished you could have and more." And we buy into that, and we use alcohol because we think that it's making our lives more interesting. Maybe life is boring if we're not drinking alcohol. A lot of people that comment on my videos and stuff say that they're afraid that they're going to be bored, or they're afraid they're going to lose friendships over not drinking. They're not going to be able to go out and socialize the way that we did before. We have a lot of friends that are drinkers, drinking buddies, and we meet up with them. We have a good time. Sometimes we go back home and we end up drinking more. That's typically what I did. I might go out to the bar or to a brewery or something and have three or four. But that was just the beginning of my drinking. Typically, I'd head home and just start drinking more. And I'd watch movies, or I'd watch sports, or whatever, and I thought that it was making my life interesting, or more exciting. I thought it was fulfilling. And how many of us feel that way? Um, Please comment below. Hi Mia, welcome in. Um, if you think that alcohol is helping make things more interesting for you, um, those are things that we need to kind of look at if we want to get sober and stay sober. I didn't really notice the effect that alcohol was having on me until I was like a month sober. A month away from alcohol was really kind of what it took for me to really start to give it weight. The fact that alcohol was not all I cracked it up to be. It's not anything that anywhere near what our society cracks it up to be. It's not anywhere near we make up in our minds that alcohol is. It just seems like when we're stuck in addiction, we glorify alcohol like it's some kind of a god. It's like if we are living and existing our day without it, um, that and we're not fulfilled. And so, like I said, it took me like a month to finally kind of realize that, and it wasn't easy to get to that 30 days. I mean, for the first like week to 2 weeks, I had some pretty strong urges. I really was gonna drink a few times, like, and it was mostly revolving around guilt, uh, and shame. Like the biggest things were I was ruminating about the things that were happening at the end of my drinking. I had um, really a lot of issues with my anger, and I snapped a lot with my family, and it was to the point where it was like I gotta figure this out. I gotta do something about it, and something gotta give. And when I started to think about the underlying factor, everything that I was trying wasn't working. The only thing that I could think of that needed to go was the alcohol. And I made that decision, and I found Quit Lit. I found a book that worked for me, um, and it was like I found this book, This Naked Mind, and it really helped kind of clarify in my mind and solidify in my mind that I want to make it to 1 year alcohol free. I want to try to see if I can get to a point where I don't lean on alcohol at events. I don't lean on alcohol to help me unwind. I'm not leaning on alcohol to celebrate different holidays. And 1 calendar year was ultimately what I decided would be my goal because of that book. And I gotta, like I gotta say, it's not like you can get to 1 year like right away. You know what I mean? It takes a little bit of time. And once I got to 30 days, I realized I felt better first and foremost, and then I realized I could get to like 2 months, 3 months, and then so on, and then that made it to a point where it was like, I can do 1 year, um, but I'm not going to shoot for that 1 year. I'm going to try to shoot for like one day at a time. And like today, here we are. It's Friday. Maybe we're all planning on going out and partying. Maybe your plans are to, excuse me, to drink this weekend, but you don't necessarily want to. You're questioning your alcohol use. You're kind of questioning, is alcohol really all that great? So those are a couple things that alcohol, we glorify it. We make it seem like it's necessary, and it's not. So that's kind of what I'm gonna make my video about today. And I just wanted to touch base with you guys because it's been a while since I've been on here for a live. But if you got anything you want to talk about, please put down in the comments what you got. And so tomorrow I'm going to be going to an event. There's probably going to be a lot of drinking going on. It's it's kind of a car show, but it's like one of the biggest car shows there are because I live in Michigan, and Woodward is an avenue that leads from Pontiac to Detroit. So it's like 20 miles, and it's all cars, uh, all years of cars, all makes and models, fast, just all kinds, and cool looking stuff. A lot of people, but there's a lot of spectators, a lot of people sitting around, a lot of people drinking, and we go to these events, and it's amazing looking at the events. Like last week, I was at a baseball game, a Tiger game, and you look at someone. I kept seeing somebody in front of me come back with one of my favorite beers when I was drinking. And it was a hot day. It was like 90 degrees. It was, you're just sweating, pouring sweat, just sitting there. And but she kept coming back with a can of what used to be my favorite, like one of my favorite all-time summer beers. Um, it was Bell's Oberon, and I don't know if any of you guys have ever had that, but it's kind of an orangey wheat beer, high in alcohol, and just tasty, and it gets you lit. I didn't notice her like getting lit, but she had kids, and I was starting to think, after like two or three times to get these tall cans of beer, like you got to be feeling dehydrated. Um, Alcohol does not hydrate you, and so I ended up having a couple of like slushies, and I was satisfied with that. And a lot of times, that's kind of what I noticed was um, when I was trying to stay sober at the beginning, and even to this day, 5 years later, I still think about HALT: hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And those are the things that I have to keep in mind when I'm having a bad time. I don't crave alcohol. I don't really have thoughts of drinking. I mean, those kind of subsided. It took longer than I wanted it to, but I drank for 27 years. But it took me like a good 2 or 3 years to get to a point where I didn't like have like fear of missing out with alcohol, to a point where I felt like I was not like thinking about it anymore. But anyway, uh, when I think about people and look at people drinking, I think that is not uh, hydrating, and HALT is something that I have to look at. So in this particular situation, I was um, hungry, but not hungry for food. I was thirsty because I'm outside, sweating, and it's hot. And really, you just need to think about, okay, what do I need right now? Um, and sometimes it's just eating or drinking something. And I think that's one of the tricks is to, if you're going to a party, if you're going to a function where people are going to be drinking, uh, eat something first, drink something, be hydrated. When you get there, you're not hungry and thirsty, and you're not like, the first thing you think of is like, I got to have that drink, right? That's kind of the situation where it's like, um, you reach for that. It's instinctive. It's something that you've always done. It's something that you always will do. And that's another lie that alcohol tells us. It's something that you're never going to get out of this. You can't ever get sober until you have until you're an alcoholic, until you're a real problem drinker. And that's not true. I mean, you can have a problem with alcohol and only have one or two a day. It doesn't matter. I mean, I one of the polls that I took recently, where I asked my viewers how much they were drinking, uh, it was pretty much overwhelming. Well, not overwhelming, but it was a majority of people that were 10 plus drinks per session. And that, I mean, that was pretty much how I drank. And so I think a lot of you resonate with that, but it doesn't need to be 10 or more. I mean, it just depends. I mean, if you are questioning at all alcohol, you don't have to have a problem with it to really stop drinking, and there's a stigma that's attached to people that aren't drinking too. I mean, and you kind of, if you say no thank you, it's kind of like, well, they usually drink, so why aren't they drinking now? They must have a problem with it, or they must be sick. And how weird is that to think like that person isn't drinking, so they must be sick? And I used to think about that a lot when I was drinking, even because there were days when I was hungover to the point where it was like, no, I don't want to drink. Um, and I would say no, thank you, and it was like, well, something must be wrong with Josh because he's not drinking. And it's like, No. I don't feel, yeah, I don't feel good, but no, I mean, I just don't want to drink. And I think that that's all these stigmas that are attached to it. It just keeps us stuck in that cycle. But back to halt. That's really the biggest thing. Like this weekend, if you're thinking about drinking, if you're making plans and you're going to be around people that are drinking, stay aware of what you need. Like if you can give yourself your basic needs. Usually for me, it's hungry and tired. Um, those are the two things. And like I said, I don't crave alcohol like I used to, but I still get into those moods, and you still have that negative voice inside your head that can try to tear you down, try to bring you down. And sometimes it's just a simple thing that you need to give yourself, um, to get over that feeling. If you can't just like nip it in the bud with prayer or with just trying to reframe the situation, maybe it's because it's something that you need. You're hungry, you're angry, or you're tired, or you're lonely, or whatever it is that's got you. But just make a plan and stick to that plan. Have an exit strategy. I have a sobriety group. If you're not on there, you can join it. I have the link pinned to all my videos. It's on Facebook. It's a private group. You can also check in here on my posts, on my videos, um, and I'll get back to you within the hour usually. I mean, if I'm at work, I can't get to you right away, but typically, if I'm not at work, I can get to you pretty quickly. But there's also people on here that can, and on Sobriety in the Storm, my Facebook group, that can get back to you pretty much right away. Um, I've Like I said last month, I ended up getting monetized on this channel. I'm really starting to take a deeper dive into my analytics and see like who's watching. Trying to, not that I didn't before, but um, I I'm just looking more in depth about this stuff. I'm still not sure how like the membership's going to work, or the what's the other, there's like super thanks, there's live streams for members only, there's all kinds of stuff. Um and also I did have mentioned in a couple of my videos that I do want to make this like my job eventually. um you don't make a lot of money on YouTube right away. I know that this takes like years to, build up. It's like sobriety. It doesn't happen overnight. And the AdSense, they don't pay a lot of money. That it's I mean, I'm sure, like I said, the more you have people watching the videos, I mean, naturally that's just going to accumulate as time goes on. But um, for right now, it's just lessons learned. That like I'm just trying to study up on it, and but I do want to make this a job, and I'm so glad that you guys are here. So please consider liking, subscribing, coming along with me on this, becoming a member, um, giving up some super thanks and all that. And so um, yeah, I'm gonna go make a video now. I'll be posting that on Sunday. I usually will have it up like Saturday night. Members can view it early, but it'll be available. I usually post them at 9 a.m. on Sunday and Wednesday. I'm gonna plan on trying to do more live streams. Things have been crazy lately. I've got a lot going on, but I'm trying to get back to that now that we got some of that stuff worked out. And so yeah, so it's Friday, it's the weekend. Try to have a great sober weekend. Like I said, if you need help, please reach out and let me know. Let us know. We can, because community is everything in this. We need um, we need like-minded people. We need camaraderie. A lot of people in our lives, don't really understand. They can't understand. It's not for them to understand. But we get it. So just, yeah, keep in touch, and we'll talk to you soon. And have a great sober weekend, everybody.